Hey everybody, this is Al Johnson from the Al Johnson Show, and as promised, this is me giving my spoiler review for Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Now, before I continue on, if you guys want to be continuously part of the Al Johnson Show as well as follow along this journey, make sure you all do the following: make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell whenever new videos are released. Thank you all for being here. Let's get back into it. Now, just like I did previously with Deadpool and Wolverine, there will be multiple parts in this series talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Today, I want to focus on Tom Holland's performance and Peter Parker's emotional journey throughout the movie. And if I have enough time, I'll probably talk about the cameos that pop up throughout the movie. Maybe. But going on with this, with Tom Holland, it has been 10 years since he debuted in Captain America Civil War as his version of Spider Man, and 11 years since he was first cast in the role. And throughout his journey as this version of Spider Man, throughout the Homecoming trilogy and his appearances in Infinity War, Endgame, and Captain America Civil War, Tom Holland has really showcased uh, a great acting range as this take on Spider-Man. And I think this performance in this movie is his best right now. Is his best yet. Because of the fact of how much control over his emotions he has, how much more development he gets to have, because this Peter is a bit older now than the last time we saw him, and enough time has passed in between movies that you get to see what he does best in the role. And it's not just what he gets to do, it's the chemistry he has with people who come aboard this journey of him being Spider-Man, excuse me. Whether it's his great chemistry with Michael Keaton in Homecoming or Jake Gyllenhaal in Far From Home, the Spider-Man, the past villains, and now here with Hulk, Punisher, and Jean Grey. But also the great chemistry he has with his main co-stars, that being uh, Marissa Tomei's Aunt May, his wife Zendaya as MJ, and Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds. And like I said, just great. It's not just great emotion as Peter Parker, but it's great emotion as Spider-Man, because the suit he gets to wear this time, previously, which were nothing but mocap suits, is a real suit. And the way Tom Holland is able to move around in the suit really shows his great physicality as Peter, and just the way he could be able to tell, I guess, stories with his eyes and also his voice. I mean, throughout the movie, like you see, like especially when the movie starts, where he reads the letter he was trying to read to MJ and Ned at the end of No Way Home, but never got to, and also the way he interacts with MJ, especially in um, especially with scenes on either the rooftop or in Punisher's hideout, particularly Punisher's hideout, where MJ finds the letter and Peter puts his heart on his sleeve, telling about why he never told MJ like, what's going on and stuff. Even saying that the line, uh, "I've been trying to live life without you, but I couldn't. I can't do it because I love you." And being told by MJ, I'm not the person you wrote about in the letter. Whoever she is, I see why you care so much about that girl. and I'm grateful for the fact that you did what you had to do to protect all of us. But I don't love you because I don't know you, which again, heartbreaking. And Peter, of course, is hurt by this. But then when MJ is like, "Hey, I don't have any cell phone signal to catch a ride back. Do you think you could swoop me back to my home?" Be like, "Sure, no problem." And the interaction with Ned building Legos and quoting Lord of the Rings was quite beautiful. MJ like, "Yeah, sorry about that. He's quite nerdy." Like, "Are you kidding me? I haven't had this much fun in years." And then also being like, "By the way, on the rooftop where we kissed, if I had known that it was Jean possessing you, I wouldn't have done that." And it's like, uh, thanks for saying that, but I don't quite remember that happened. And just also the interaction he has with Banner and Punisher, especially the Punisher, great sibling dynamic, and just great quippy banter between them, showing the sibling dynamic between them, like older brother, younger brother type of deal, and him interacting with Bruce Banner, and also him interacting with Detective Jean DeWolf, played in this movie by Liza C. from The Bear. I'm not going to mispronounce her last name. And just the great bond they have, even though Peter never met her physically, really showing how much lived in this Spider-Man is compared to the Homecoming trilogy. And the beautiful way the cinematography throughout the movie and around Tom's Spider-Man, the cinematography, the direction, and the lighting showcases his acting in such beautiful ways. It's really just incredible to see. And you feel for Peter, you feel for his isolation, his loneliness, his sadness, for the life he's missing versus the life he's currently living, and also the rage he showcases when the spider the spider DNA starts to take over him. And the action sequences that Tom Holland gets to show off in this movie, which were inspired by not just what he did previously, but Tobey and Andrew Spider-Man, as well as the Insomniac games, really highlight, like I said, it highlights Tom's physicality in the action department. And a lot of the humor that Tom possesses, or he can quip, he can dish out, really helps out a lot. And just the interactions he has with Jean Grey start off hostile, but then start to get more, how should I say this, more emotional, especially at the climax of the movie, where he allows Jean, who previously was trying to get in his head, but he wouldn't allow it. But then when we reach the climax of the movie, and he lets her into his mind and sees Aunt May after finding out Peter is Spider-Man, and basically trying to basically talking to him about the dangers of the world and how he should not let go of the person he is, no matter what happens or how powerful he gets. But you see Gene in that spot, and he's able to lend an emotional hand when before he was combative and almost rageful. Even the part where he nearly holds possessed MJ off of off of the roof while Gene is mocking him, like the anger Tom Holland gets to display. And now here, where he's lending an emotional support, helping Jean throughout this time where she feels lonely and isolated, and says, "Hey, you can't do this on your own. I've tried to do it. It doesn't work." And Jean saying, "Even if that were true, I have nobody. And Peter, you have me. And then proceeds to take a bullet for Jean because the Punisher was gonna snipe Jean was gonna snipe Jean Grey, and Peter taking the bullet and basically is dying on the floor, but still being like, Jean, leave. You're gonna be alright. I'll be okay. Get out of here. They're gonna come after you. And Jean, with her powers, is able to help Spider-Man live. And again, going back to his interactions with the Punisher, yes, it's little brother, big brother stuff, but at the end here, when like uh Punisher tells him like, kid, what you did was quite brave, and it proceeds to have Peter walk out of the hospital so nobody knows who he is, and like, I'll pretend to be Spider-Man while you go out there, which was kind of funny, but also beautiful because Peter is able to see the community around the hospital saying, come on, Spider Man, get up, Spider Man. And he's able to feel like, oh, I'm not alone. I guess I do matter. And he goes to Aunt May's tombstone, which he's done throughout the great montage, putting flowers on her tombstone, saying hi to her. And then on this trip, he gives the flowers on tombstone and says, I want you to know I'm not going to do this alone anymore, and I miss you. And ends the movie with meeting Ned as himself, not as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker, and does the friendly handshake that they do. And Ned is able to, in my opinion, I guess, remember Peter. Basically showing that now Peter is going to start over again with this friendship of Ned. As far as MJ is concerned, that'll probably happen down the line. But like I said, Tom Holland's performance, the range of emotions, the physicality, the dialogue he has is quite amazing. Almost as amazing as the cameos that were shown throughout this movie. I mean, you saw Scorpion, which was cool to see. Hope he comes back. You saw Tombstone, which is awesome to see. Hope he comes back. Like I said, you saw Jean DeWolf in a minor role. You see Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. Small potatoes, big potatoes. All that stuff, like the interactions he has with her, quite great. And, oh, man. Man, just so much great stuff that's in this movie. And maybe there's some stuff I'm forgetting. But overall, to bring this point home, Tom Holland's performance, astounding. And where he goes from here, the sky is the limit. And I'm looking forward to what he does next as Spider-Man and where else he pops up. Because his performance in this movie and Peter's arc, quite a beautiful one. And honestly, that's all it needs to be said there in those factors. And folks, that's my first spoiler review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And let me know down below your thoughts on Tom Holland's performance in this movie and Peter's arc in this movie. Thank you all for watching. As always, I've been Al Johnson, and I'm Spider-Man.